Okay. Good afternoon, Americans Against Foreclosures. I think we're live now. I think the microphone is working. Everything looks fine at this end. Um, so please go ahead and send us your comments here and your questions on the chat. And we'll hopefully be able to answer it for you. Now, basically, the reason I'm doing this video, and my name is Ed. I'm a member of the private organization called Americans Against Foreclosures. Our website is www.a as in Apple, X as in X-ray, J as in Jack, .n as in November, and U. That's one of our first websites out there on the internet, and we are available to all homeowners and people interested in becoming members of Americans Against Foreclosures and evictions. Okay, so that would also include tenants as well. But mostly it's geared to the homeowners protecting their assets, protecting their home, and trying to avoid foreclosure and eviction at all means and costs possible to stay in their homes. Now, I haven't put this on the Facebook page yet. Let me try and see if I can bring in some more people. Let's see, just a second, please. So I'm going to be putting it on the Facebook page. Now, we have many groups on Facebook as well. And it's more difficult for us to do videos there, but I know some people do videos on Facebook. So let's see, we're trying to bring them on now. So bear with me. And the main reason for doing this video is to keep you all up to date on what's going on with Americans Against Foreclosures, what our strategies are. There we go. I'm putting in the link now. So you should be able to get in. Okay, so what I was saying, basically I'm doing this video, and like I say, my name is Ed. I'm a member of Americans Against Foreclosures. I'm a homeowner, and I've been fighting foreclosure against my own property since, well, bought it back in 2008. 2008 was the crisis, so I started fighting in crisis time. I had less income. I'd lost my job. I didn't know what to do back then. I'd been paying on the mortgage already for 8 years. And when you lose your job, you lose the income, you don't know what to do and you're desperate. So I contacted different attorneys that were helping people, and they all recommended, we'll file for bankruptcy protection. It's the best thing. It's you get an automatic stay in place, and then you can negotiate, modify the loan with the alleged lenders. Okay, so that was the advice given back then, which is still good advice, especially in the West Coast, the non-judicial states. Okay, so that is always the best advice when you're in a non-judicial state. Now, what is the difference between judicial and non-judicial? Judicial are back east. They are the states, New York, New Jersey, where the alleged lenders have to file the complaint to foreclose. See? So those are all the states back east. They follow, I guess it's just Roman law. You know, basically you have to file a complaint with the courts, right? Usually the state courts. They can also file in federal court. But the state courts, they file a complaint to foreclose on the loan, okay? And I'm posting this on other places right now, so let me just put this in here. I know we get people on Twitter that like to come in. So I'm posting that for them. Okay, good. So as I was saying, in the judicial states, they have to, the foreclosing party, in other words, the alleged lender who lent you money, right? This is all comes down to money that you allegedly borrowed from a party to either purchase your home or to refinance it. All right. So you stop making payments to them, like happened back to me in 2008. I just lost my job. I didn't have enough money to make the payments. So back then, we didn't have the HAMP program. We didn't have any of these modifications. But yet, in the documents that we signed, that I signed, the note and the deed of trust, there was a document in there that said in the deed of trust, I believe, that you had the right to contact the lender and request a loan modification if your financial situation changed, which I did. I reached out to the alleged lender back then, or the servicers, because they had now assigned a servicer to my loan, and I requested a loan modification. Well, lo and behold, it was, and many people have heard of Capital One Bank. Okay, they were behind this. But it started with another stream of banks from back east and the Midwest. They are the ones that originated the loan through an originating party that was in California, but it's actually the funding was coming from, like I say, these banks in the West Coast or in the middle of the United States or back east. I don't remember now. But in any case, the name that comes up is Capital One Bank. So I requested a loan modification, all right, because I'd fallen behind 3 months. I was already in default, so they already started the foreclosure process on me. So, I requested a modification, and they never actually got to it, to believe it or not. Okay, they spent 2 years with the documentation, looking at it, going through it, yada, yada. But when you're behind on your payments, you're in default, and you don't have a lot of income, well, they don't want to do the modification, basically, because it's much better for them to foreclose on the property and take the property from you. Okay, so that's what they did. So back then, there weren't any laws stopping this dual tracking and everything else that's been called. And they filed the notice of default on title. California is different state, so they have different laws for the whole process. And once they file that notice of default on title, I believe they have another 60 or 90 days to start scheduling a date to name a trustee to the deed of trust, and then take the property to auction and sell it off to the highest bidder. Okay, that's the way it works in California. So all during these 2 years that I requested a loan modification, they actually played games with me. They promised me they would do it, yada, yada, yada. It went to different hands and ended up that I didn't. They've denied the modification. And they went and they put the house, they auctioned off my house, and they sold it to the highest bidder. So next thing I know, that my house has been sold when I was in the middle of a loan modification, and there's nothing I could do about it. Okay, so I lost my house. That's what really happened in my case. Now, I've learned many things since then. All right, that when you file for bankruptcy protection, the bankruptcy will stop the whole process that they're doing. Okay, it puts a hold on it. There's an automatic stay in place. So what happens is you file for bankruptcy protection. It stays the process of the foreclosure, but they continue behind the scenes. So what they're waiting for is the moment that they can lift what's called the automatic stay in place. All right. And then they file the documents as soon as possible, lifting that automatic stay. And then they continue with the foreclosure process. Now, judges are not very kind to homeowners in general. I don't know why. Homeowners are filing for bankruptcy, obviously, because they're in financial dire straits. They need help, and they need the power of the courts to stop the foreclosure. So you can request a modification in the bankruptcy as well, which is what we recommend. file bankruptcy, file for bankruptcy protection as soon as you can. File a Chapter 13. Try to stay away from the Chapter 7 and the Chapter 11, which are for companies. A very expensive bankruptcy. And Chapter 7 is to discharge the debt, but it gives the trustee of the bankruptcy the power over your asset. And if they see that you have equity in your asset, what the trustee wants to do is auction off and sell your property to pay off the creditors. And that's wrong. So stay away from the Chapter 7 because you lose control. All right. All control of your assets is taken over by the trustee. So we always recommend filing Chapter 13 bankruptcy. We're now working with a group of attorneys. So you can go onto our website, the website address. I'll put it in the chat here if anybody would like to see it. It's www. AXJ, A is an apple, X is an X-ray, J is in Jack.nu. And that is our website where you can go for information and we will gladly help you. This organization has been created by homeowners like you and I, and it's grown tremendously. We have, I believe, over 500,000 visits now on the website. And it's homeowners basically from across the United States, from Hawaii to Washington, the state of Washington, California, Texas, New Mexico, New York, New Jersey, Florida, Georgia. We have homeowners from across the United States, and they're all basically filing Chapter 13 bankruptcies and trying to save their homes. Okay. Now, when you file a Chapter 13 bankruptcy, you also have the opportunity of filing what's called an adversarial proceeding against whoever's claiming that you owe them money. Okay, because they have to file what's called a 410 proof of claim form in the bankruptcy. And that claim form has a penalty of $500,000 on it, I believe, if they are lying to the court, if they're misrepresenting the truth. So it's a very, very important document which you need the other parties to file, because bankruptcy court is very administrative. It's just fill out the documents. If you can fill them out yourselves, and we have many members of Americans Against Foreclosures that can also help you with filling out the documents. They may charge you something because obviously they got to make a little bit of money, but it's well worth it. Okay. Some of them are paralegals as well, and some of them are attorneys. You can pay an attorney to file the bankruptcy for you. That's not a problem. It's just a question of money, how much money you have available. Let's just say an average cost for a paralegal to do it would be $1,000. Average cost for an attorney retainer these days are $3,000 to $5,000 to file the bankruptcy. Good thing is you can put that amount in the bankruptcy itself, and that will pay off the attorney. Now, the idea is that you do a plan with the bankruptcy to pay back the arrearage that you owe on the loan, right? And you pay make a new modified payment to the loan. So you're caught up after a period of 3, 5, or 7 years even. And then everything's good because the bankruptcy court stays everything. They cannot continue with the foreclosure as long as you're making the payments on the plan. So that's very important, okay, filing bankruptcy. Are there other things you can do? Yes, you can file complaints against the lenders. You can file complaints against the servicers for violation of state and federal laws. Many things you can do. Are they successful? Do they have a high rate of success? Not really. Not really. Because if you're finding out you can't make those payments on the mortgage, then it's inevitable that somebody is going to end up filing a complaint to foreclose on the property. Okay, on the loan. They're foreclosing on the loan, actually. And I can get into more details. I think this is enough for right now. I just wanted to share this information with you and in the information that we will be growing Americans Against Foreclosures. We will be creating more websites. We're looking for members in different states, especially the bigger states, New York, California, Florida, New Mexico, Texas, Georgia, across the United States, to help us as more and more homeowners are falling into default right now and having financial difficulty, because inevitable in our financial situation right now. So if you're willing to join us and you're willing to help, please do so as soon as possible. You're also welcome to do videos yourself, and we will publish them on our websites. And you will see this website, this video right now that I've done, published on one of our websites, either on Facebook or on X or on some of the other, or our own websites as well. You'll see this video published there. So if you have any other questions, please feel free to contact me. I'm ed@axj.com. I'll put my email there at the chat as well. And you can send me an email requesting information, help, or anything else I can help you with. So thank you so much, and everyone stay well. Bye-bye now.